Joining me as usual is the producer of the show, Kylan Savage. How you doing, Kylan?
Hey, I'm gonna make it.
All right. Also joining me today is Kelly Attaway. She hosts the podcast Never Show the Monster and Debut Buddies.
Both
Thanks
of
for
which
joining
I've
us,
been
Kelly.
on.
That's
So,
true.
yeah.
Nice. Kylan has devoted fans, I'm sure, so they will probably go find that and listen. How are you doing, Kelly? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing really well. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me.
Yeah. Um, so today we are talking about the album Max and Match by Odd Eye Circle, released in 2017. This is a K-pop group that come from the larger group Luna.
hmm
Um,
So we talked about this a little bit on our original K-pop series, right,
yeah,
Eric? You
we
talked
did.
about how they split because we also listened to it was Artemis,
Yep,
right?
Artemis.
And Odd Eye
Yep,
Circle.
yep,
I remembered that.
yeah.
I retained something. So Kelly, just for context, we did a few weeks ago. Eric did a series with us and our friend AJ Simmons where he showed us five K-pop music videos.
So
Uh,
fun. Oh my
and got
gosh.
us. It was
K-pop
like,
music videos slap.
yeah. And so that was like fully my introduction to K-pop.
Oh
Um,
wow. So super recently.
yeah,
In June, yeah,
Yeah.
like a 2 months ago.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm an old pro at this now. It's been at least 3 months for me
Right.
listening to
Oh, okay.
K-pop. Yeah,
Okay.
so
And you did heard you did a K-pop episode on one of your shows, correct?
yeah, over on Debut Buddies, which is a podcast about firsts. And I understand that debut has like a special meaning in the K-pop industry. That is pure coincidence.
I learned that
Um,
this week. Do you know where I
oh,
learned that?
cool.
From your
From
podcast.
my podcast. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, we talked about Sotaji, which was very eye-opening for me. Like, I am obviously aware of the concept of K-pop in the zeitgeist, and I understand that the fans are rabid, and that was pretty much the extent of my knowledge. And so to listen to Sotaji and be like, oh my God, this sounds like hip hop. This sounds like old school 90s like Beastie Boys. I think I compared them to Beastie Boys and Rage Against the Machine, which is
Yeah.
like not what I expected. So to learn that the that K-pop isn't really a genre was a I don't know, that was fun. So I'm excited.
I highly recommend everyone go listen to that episode. It is one, that podcast is awesome, and two, that episode in particular is a really good sort of crash course on
Hmm.
K-pop as an institution. Eric, I think you'd really dig that episode.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out.
And the funny thing is, Eric, we can cut this if you don't want it. But the funny thing is, a producer note here. We had a guest drop out of this episode, and I was racking my brain of like, who do I know that could come on this episode? And for some reason in my brain, Kelly, there was a connection between you and K-pop.
Oh,
And then I realized right
yeah.
after I asked you, I was like, they did an episode
Yeah.
on K. That's why in my brain I'm like, Kelly. So I don't know how she feels
Kelly
about it,
Attaway, notable K-pop
but
stan.
I know you're associated with K-pop in some way in my brain,
That's a good
and
neural pathway. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. So we're so glad you're here. I'm so excited.
Thanks. I'm
Uh, uh,
excited.
Other fun fact for the audience: Kelly and I went to high school together.
True. That's true.
Mm. I don't know if
That
that's a
feels
fun
like
fact, but it's a fact.
it's just a normal fact.
It's
Yeah.
normal.
It is a cool fact because I have zero people that I'm still friends with from high school. So I was
Yeah.
just
He's one
thinking
of the
about that
few.
recently. Yeah. um, yeah, and also by the time this comes out, we all five of our
K-pop.
K-pop
Yeah.
reaction videos should be out. So uh, go look for those,
Yeah.
please. Um, and let's see, they originally released this as an EP called Mix and Match, also in 2017. They reissued it as the album Max and Match. They added the intro, and they added or not the intro. They added "Sweet Crazy Love" and the remix of "Girlfront," which is called "Odd
Okay.
Front."
Right.
Okay. I had a
Yeah.
lot of questions.
Yes.
Like trying to look this up, I was like, okay. So there's Luna and there's Odd Eye Circle and there's Mix and Match and there's Max and
It's a
Match.
match.
And
Right.
Mhm.
wait, is this the same song? Hold on.
Yeah, no, I went through all of that as well. Just wait, Kelly, just wait until you get into the whole Luna, Odd Eye Circle, Luna Artemis thing. That's
Oh
Eric,
boy.
can you talk about that just briefly?
I don't know much. I'm only about a year into my K-pop education,
Oh, okay.
but
Humble brag.
um no uh
Whoa.
compared to some people, it's that's not very long. But I've only listened to a little bit of Luna. It sounded good. I'm kind of focusing on
Right.
the
So,
ones that I have been getting that
right.
like physical albums of.
So Luna was like a super group
Huge
basically, right?
Yeah.
group.
Like
It
a
was like
big group.
Yeah,
11
like
And then
11 or
they
girls.
12. Yeah.
split, but then but they still keep part of the Luna just for like branding sake, do you
On
think?
Guess
this,
Or
so.
yeah, I think on this album, but the one that they released last year is listed as
just
Artemis
okay.
Odd Eye Circle, whereas this one is
Okay.
Luna Odd Eye Circle.
I wonder if that was
Oh,
like a contractual thing.
Yeah, there was some kind of dispute. I think actually that there's a lawsuit against the original label that Luna
yeah.
was on, and that caused like the fracture. There's also a side group that was called Luna One Third. I think. I guess that's how they say it. And two of the members from that are have joined the Odd Eye Circle girls, and that is Artemis.
That's
So
wild.
five of the
Okay.
Luna
Okay.
members are Artemis now, which
Okay.
their music's really great too.
It
Um,
seemed like okay, so I was looking at YouTube comments and the like official videos uploaded by the label, comments are disabled. And
mm.
so immediately I was like, scandal, something happened.
Something happened.
Like,
Yeah,
what's going on?
I think it's Luna One Third. When you go to stream them on Spotify, the image says "Do not stream our music" because the
Oh,
label is using this money to sue us or something like
oh,
Whoa.
that.
Whoa.
oh my God. Oh, sorry. My
Yeah.
apologies.
So yeah, apparently a lot of drama. I kind of like to, I guess, naturally and slowly find these things out rather than just doing a
Right.
huge deep dive.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm learning a little bit as we go, really.
It also seemed like, okay, so I was looking at the YouTube comments on like lyric music videos uploaded by fans, and it seems like, I don't know, I can't tell, but I was in the same boat. Like, I don't want to do a deep dive on this, so I'm just gleaning things from the comments. It seems like each gal in Luna, in the original huge Luna, has like a number associated with them. Like as they added members, it's like, okay, you're a girl 7, you're a girl 12, whatever. And it seems like they'll refer to their numbers as the spin-off groups. And I was like, damn, you're like having to remember their names and the order in which they joined the band and which configuration.
It's a
That's a
lot.
lot. Do
I
you make
think they all,
flashcards? Like,
I think they all also have a month that corresponds to
oh,
them.
geez.
Yeah, and a lot of K-pop groups also have colors and like animals that
Oh,
corresponds to them. Yeah, like there are like wiki pages that have all this info on all of them. I do not have any of that
I could
memorized.
weirdly like it's the exact kind of like really specific nerd lore that
yeah.
if I had gotten into if I had like listened to K-pop before I became a parent and had more time on my hands, I could easily see myself getting way into it.
Yeah, I could have gone down this path, or the path that I did take was reading The Wheel of Time, the
Right.
16-book
It's basically the
fantasy
same thing.
series.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my favorite group, Falling Up, is they have a
Mm.
huge amount of lore and things, and I I'm as fanboy as it comes about this group, and I still don't know
Yeah.
what a lot of the things are.
Right. Well, there's
A lot
also
of
the
lyrics are
language
referencing.
barrier and the cultural
Yeah.
barrier between that too. Like that's just an extra hurdle. Like it's not impossible, right? But it's just like an extra mental step I feel like you have to go through.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, even just then, when you mentioned that each person in the group might have a color associated with them, that like clicked. One of the lyrics in one of the songs on this album is "What's your favorite color?" And I was like,
Right.
oh, see,
Yeah.
like
There's
Yeah.
I
lots
can't,
of
I don't even get
cultural
the song
context.
without
Yeah.
knowing the history.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to dig into. My daughter actually started learning some Korean on
Mm.
Duolingo
Nice.
because our family has become such big aespa fans. So they're for anyone who doesn't know, they're another K-pop group that's actually significantly more popular than Odd Eye Circle. But yeah, like our whole family is pretty into the K-pop at this point.
K-pop pilled.
Yeah. um, so Kelly, do you have any history at all with Odd Eye Circle from when you were researching K-pop or anything?
No, I don't think so. Here's the one bit of history that I might have. I'm like 75% sure. So, earlier this year, I took a trip out to San Francisco to see a friend. He wanted to do like a private karaoke room, and I'm pretty sure Sweet Crazy Love was like one of the in between karaoke songs,
Oh,
interstitials.
Interesting.
And the only reason I remember that is because it's catchy.
it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, well, we'll get to that here in just a minute. Kylan, what was did you had no experience except for on our previous
Yeah, but
video?
we watched the music video for Girlfriend
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I loved it. I think
I thought it was one of your least favorites of the five, though. I feel like.
probably, but you brought some bangers on that
Yeah,
episode.
I think so too.
Yeah, do you remember what I rated it? I
I feel like
don't.
you gave it I think it may have been a 3.5. I feel like
That's
the
right.
Odd
That's
Eye
still pretty good
Circle and the
though.
Artemis were I think they were your two lowest ranked, but I can't remember which one
Mm.
you gave what score.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think you gave anything under a 3.5.
No, it was all
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, well, I don't want to show my hand too much, so I'd rather
All
wait until we get to that song. But yeah,
right.
Go for a secret.
that was my first introduction to Odd Eye Circle.
Awesome.
Nice.
Kylan, do you want to explain your rating scale real quick? We'll be rating every song, and then at the
Yes.
end, we'll do a full album rating.
I believe I'm still doing 1 through 5.
Okay.
We'll find out.
We'll see.
All right. Kelly, what's your rating scale going to be?
Okay, so I don't usually think in ratings for music. So I sat down and decided what would be the dumbest way to rank these songs. And
Love it.
it ended up finding only a middle dumb way. So I have a rubric
Okay.
of 4 categories, and each
Okay.
category is like binary, yes or no, gets you a point.
Okay.
The first category is vibes. Specifically, is this a good song for driving around on a sunny day with the windows down? That's
Perfect.
the specific vibe we're
Yeah.
going for.
Okay.
The second one is, would I seek out this song to listen to on its own, apart from just putting on the album and listening to it all the way through?
Okay.
And then I think this is my favorite category is, does it have a section that surprises or delights me? And so that could be the part of the song where you're like, oh, this is the best part, everybody shut up. Or it could just be like, that's a stupid noise that they just made. So that's the funnest category to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one is, did the YouTube comments make me laugh?
That's great. It's so funny that you call that dumb because that's way more in depth than
Oh, nice.
my completely arbitrary system that's solely vibes.
That's the kind of thing I expect from Kylan at this point is something similar, to that. But
That's great.
I think I'm
Well, I
converting
just tried to
Kylan
break
into a raider.
down.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Slowly.
Yeah, just wear him down.
Yeah.
Between Eric and Josh, I'm just like, okay, I guess I have to objectively rank these subjective art experiences.
Yeah.
Sure.
Um. Okay, so you're going to give each song a yes or no on all four categories. Is
No,
that
there
what you were thinking,
Yes, each
or you're going
category
to
gets a
rate
yes or
them?
no, and then
that
that
they get a
results in a
point,
score of
right?
one through four.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. I think that's everything before we jump in. On the first track, Ad, it's an intro. I don't know if you all did ratings for the intro or not.
Of course.
Okay, good.
I did.
Nothing if not thorough.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm
Okay.
given homework, I'm doing the homework.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. We'll start with track 1, Ad. Kylan, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah. This is a great instrumental track.
Yeah.
And my one big note is this is very specific, but do you guys remember the app HQ trivia from a few years ago?
Vaguely, yes.
It was like it like blew up like across the world. It was like a live trivia uh game that everyone could compete, like and it was only at one time, and there was like a live host, but you tuned in on your
Oh,
phone,
okay.
you like win money and stuff. It's crazy. There's a documentary on Max about HQ because the company was severely mismanaged and it turned into this whole crazy thing. But their intro music, their countdown music sounded just like this. So I feel like I'm about to play HQ, or it's like a loading music for
Yeah.
like a Kingdom Hearts game or something. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It sounds like a competition show, like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
Yeah,
returning
yeah.
from commercial break.
Yes. That
Yeah.
being said, I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Kelly, what did you give that one?
Unfortunately, on my rubric, it only got a 1 out of 4
Okay.
for it earned its point in the YouTube comments category. First of all,
Okay.
the YouTube comments were astonishing.
Really?
Everybody was like, I love this song. This song goes so hard. And I was like, are we listening to the same song? But there was one comment that got me good, and it just said, I love nature. Okay.
Yeah, no, that gets a
Sick,
point.
yeah.
That deserves a point.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, for me, on the intro, if I feel like it adds anything at all to the album, I'll usually give it like at
Right.
least four stars.
Right.
And with this being such a short album, I do
Yeah,
feel like
like,
that extra minute is pretty cool and does add to the album.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what'd you give it?
so it's a 4-star, 8.9 for me.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, can you explain to Kelly
The two
briefly
numbers
the two
there.
numbers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing I do a 0 through 5 scale, and then I break those down even further on a 0.0 to 10.0 scale. So for example, if I give a song 5 stars, it would fall between a 9
Eight and
point well,
oh,
actually
okay.
it would be a 9.6 to
Oh.
9.9, depending on how strongly I feel about it. My top 100 songs of all time list, those songs get either a 10.0 or a 9.9. My top 250 songs list, those get a 9.8. 9.7 is a solid 5-star. 9.6 is barely a 5-star. And I kind of had to tweak the scale where it doesn't exactly correspond, because I wanted to be able to rate the 5 stars. Whereas if I just did like a 9, like a 9 is a 4.5 star or whatever, then I wouldn't have a way.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
You
I don't
need
know if this
you need
makes. I
more
don't know if
wiggle
this makes
room
sense.
in there.
Yes.
No, it does. It does.
So, but like a 4-star would be in the 8.0 to 8.9 range.
Got
So
it. Okay.
yeah, the higher the better, of course. What was that album you recommended to me, Kylan, that I listened to some of? Pilot.
Which one?
What was it? It's the
Air traffic
the
controller?
Air traffic controller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
like Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, all 0.0s on that one. I'm just
Well,
kidding.
I quit. I
Oh.
quit.
I'm
Good
just
luck.
kidding.
Good luck producing your
I'm kidding.
show, bro.
I'm
No.
kidding. I do like it. It's very much like the format.
It's one of
And
those albums.
yeah.
It's one of those albums that I understand. Like realistically, it's a very like mid-level album, but it just hit me at the right place at the right time. So I'm like,
I
I
get that.
love this,
Yeah.
even though objectively I understand it's like this isn't the best thing ever, but I
I
love
think
it.
Yeah.
well, most of my favorites are not the best thing ever on an objective level, probably, but like
What is
um
objective? What is objective for music?
well, I
Rolling
think it
Stone, heard
well
of it?
No.
no. I think it would I think like it would come into like are these songs like more timeless than trendy? On for
I
newer
don't know.
albums, for older albums, I think it would be, has this stood the test of time? Was it
Right.
Mozart
influential?
list.
Mozart,
Yeah.
10 out of 10,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no notes.
Yeah.
I don't
Best music of all time.
um
John Philip Sousa, come on.
I used to try to look at music more on an objective level, but it's just not as fun as just what
No.
do
I mean, it's
what do
art.
I love? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, sorry for going off the rails a little bit there.
Hey, Eric,
Yes.
this is your show. That's not going off the rails. That's you doing your show.
Them's the rails, baby. Toot toot, you're the conductor.
That's a good pull quote for this. That's a
I should have
TikTok
said
clip.
choo choo. Toot toot felt weird.
Oh, I haven't shown my shirt. I got my circle shirt.
Nice, yay!
Yeah, it's the Luna version though, so it is it is
Uh-oh.
for this release, even though it's not applicable anymore. But all right, let's go to track 2, Sweet Crazy Love. Kylan, thoughts on this one?
This is a banger, dude.
Banger.
Those strings in the beginning remind me a lot of Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah.
Maybe specifically like Call Me Maybe, but like just some other just general vibe of Carly Rae Jepsen. And then I love the disco vibe throughout the whole song.
Yeah.
The one thing specifically, it feels like when they say the word crazy, is like the one moment, because okay, the most interesting thing to me listening to this album, and I'm not super familiar with a lot of K-pop, but from what I have heard is like this is pretty indicative of like there will be random English phrases.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So much so this was really funny. I was listening to this in the car today, and it took my wife 2 whole songs until I was like, "Hey, what do you think of this K-pop album?" She's like, "Oh my God. Oh, that's what's good." She's like, "I thought I was having a stroke or just I don't understand music, like modern pop music." She's like, "I didn't know what they were I didn't realize it was in another language because every now and then there'd be like English phrases."
Right.
Like I thought I just couldn't understand it.
You're like, this is mbop all over again.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It's like, hey boy, and then a bunch of
yeah,
gibberish.
Yeah.
right, yeah, exactly. But the one thing on this whole album, because they do it throughout the entire album, and I love it. It feels like crazy is the one word that they don't fully know how to say in English, like with an English intonation. Like it feels the most like translated, or like English is a second language, right? Like it, because they say like crazy, like it just it doesn't feel supernatural to me as obviously as an English speaker.
I didn't even notice. I was just
Just
jamming
vibing out.
man.
You just like, I mean, the disco vibe is great.
Yeah.
There's sweet, sweet
Yeah.
bass, man.
Vibe City.
Yeah, for real. okay, this is funny. According to my notes, I gave this a 34 out of 5.
Oh,
that's a typo.
nice.
That's a typo.
No, you know what? I agree.
I was giving it a 3.5 and I was deleting it to put it at a 4, and I think it ended
Oh.
up at a 34 out of 5. That just messed up my whole scale.
So it is a 4 then, right?
It is a 4, yeah.
Okay. Kelly, what did you think of this one?
Yeah, this one's a 4 for me. It hit every mark on my rubric. I pulled my favorite YouTube comment
Yes.
for y'all.
I love
And it
that.
is, fun fact, this song was originally supposed to be for Mozart, but he ended up giving it to Luna instead.
That's
But yeah,
great.
this is
I
like
love that you did that. Like all the YouTube comments.
I
Yeah.
had fun. Yeah, this is like a perfect song for driving around. I was running so many errands. The sun was shining, the windows were down, the
Yeah.
love was sweet and crazy. I was having a great time. I love the little like spoken word breakdown.
Right.
I
Yeah.
love there are some like vocal runs that were giving Mariah Carey. I mean, not
Oh yeah.
not
Oh,
quite,
that-
but like
Right.
the Mariah vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
Which made more sense later on in the album. We'll
Mhm.
get there. We'll get there.
Okay. Yeah, I like y'all said, it's got the feel of a classic pop song, whether it's like Call Me Maybe or disco. It's just
Right.
it feels like one that's been around for a lot longer than
Yeah.
since 2017. I like the way they kind of changed things up a little bit, like from 237 on. I think they changed some of the phrasing or words or something in the lyrics that
Yeah, it continually keeps you interested.
Yeah.
Like it changes enough that even if I don't know what they're saying, I'm just like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
go this way. Like,
they recorded an English version of this last year,
oh,
and
interesting.
I listened to it once. I saw that most fans weren't feeling it. So I listened to it once, and I've been kind of scared to go back and do it again because I love this song so much. I don't want anything to taint it.
Right.
But I feel like at some point I'm gonna have to give it more attention. But yeah, it's a easy 5 stars, 9.7. It's one that I feel like I could make room for in my top 250 and maybe go up to a 9.8. So
Wow.
that may happen at some point.
Cusp. She's a cusp baby.
Yes, yeah. I feel like this is the start. You all may not agree, and that's totally okay. I feel like this is the start of like one of the best 4-song runs on a pop album that I've ever heard.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the first one on that, and then so yeah, we can go to track number 3.
Oh, wait. Wait,
okay.
before
Go
we
ahead,
move
go ahead,
on.
go ahead.
So today I went to YouTube to find the best comments and accidentally was listening to the English version
Oh,
and was
see,
like, how am I suddenly understanding the words? Did I like listen to it so many times today that it
I love
what did you
that.
think of
But
the
I-
English version?
I mean, it was similar enough that it was recognizable. I don't think that I had a strong enough history
Right.
with the song to really feel like upset or proud. But although I will say once I realized what had happened, I was like, oh, maybe I don't like it as much. So that could be the music or that could be the hipster in me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what though?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, and probably for people who have been listening to this since 2017, coming out with an English version is just kind of like
Well, it's
spitting
like
on the
it's
original
like when,
or something.
right. It's like when
Yeah.
like they do American versions of British TV shows.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
well,
it's like it's technically
works for The Office.
kind of the same, right? But that's the only one.
Yeah.
So,
That's the only one.
it's like literally the only one. Okay, I will say though, Kelly, after that story, I think this song, I think it's gonna bump up to a 4.5 for me,
Oh,
simply
awesome.
because I love the fact that because of the English version, there was a brief moment where Kelly thought she could speak Korean or thought she could understand, and I will now forever associate this song with that. And just thinking about that cracks me up so much that this is that much more enjoyable. That
You're
it gets
like-
another half point.
Kelly is such a fan of K-pop that she learned Korean
That's so
just
funny.
by listening.
Just by
Immersion.
listening. Immersion. Yeah.
I should try that on my kids since they've
Yeah,
been
dude.
doing the Korean.
Oh yeah, that's
Duolingo.
so funny. You're like,
Look how
okay,
much
so
you've
like, this
learned.
is- That's so
Just
funny.
throw up lyric videos all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right. Track 3, Uncover. Kylan, thoughts on this one?
The production on this is so good.
Mm.
this kick pattern right here in the intro feels very like mid 2000s in a way that I really like, where it's like it's a little busy. It's like a little too busy. It's like do 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 do
Yeah.
like, but I love it. And then they layer the percussion incredibly well. I'm gonna be a little bit music nerdy, but I think I at one point. Oh man, I don't have it. I wrote it. I physically wrote it. I don't have it in my notes, but I was counting. I think I counted up to 16 different percussion elements.
Oh,
Which is
wow.
Interesting.
really cool. Yeah, there's like there's 808s, there's two
Yeah.
different kick drums, there's like three different snare patterns and claps and snaps and hi-hats and clavicles and like all kinds of stuff. It's really great.
What's a clavicle
It's like that.
apart from the anatomy piece? Or is it it's a human bone?
Yeah. They
Okay.
they play the no. It's the ones it's like the two little like sticks, and you hit them together, and
Oh.
they go ding, ding, ding,
Oh,
ding,
that's fun.
yeah,
Cute.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think that is in my surprise and delight section. I just didn't
good.
know what it was. Like fun.
Yeah. That being said, coming right off of Sweet Crazy Love, I didn't love it as much. I gave this a 3.5.
Okay.
That's
Kelly?
not bad.
Yeah.
So this one's getting a 3 from me. Definitely fun to listen to while driving around in the sunshine. I don't know that I would seek out listening to this song individually unless I wanted to play it for somebody and be like, no, but also let's read the translation, because
Oh,
the
boy.
lyrics to this are very sexual in
Oh,
a way
really?
that I did
Interesting.
not expect. Here are some lines. I pulled quotes for you.
Okay.
I mean, obviously the line that is in English in the song, "Are you coming right now?"
Yeah.
That's it is spelled with the U, in my opinion, in terms
Oh.
of the plot of the song.
Interesting.
There's like filling me up, this is new. It's you. And oh, the ocean inside me. I have you. I'm with you. And I was like, my word. Where did I put my pearls? I need to clutch them.
Gonna make me blush.
But
That's wild.
this was one of the songs that it's hard to find a good video for it on YouTube. And so there is a really grainy video that's like clearly a bootleg. And I guess that's like super dangerous or controversial. I don't know. A lot of the comments were like, oh my God, so brave, braver than the troops. But my favorite one was, apparently the full HD version of this video is so powerful that watching it kills you instantly. So
K-pop
this
fans
one's
have
in.
some good comments. Like,
Yeah.
I go on Rate Your Music a lot, and I love reading the comments on the K-pop albums.
Oh, nice.
That's wild.
Is that all you had on that one, Kelly?
Yes, this one's
Okay.
a 3 out of 4 from
3 out
me.
of 4.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, I'm a huge fan of 808s. When I hear the 808s, especially in like the
Yeah.
and even in like the higher parts, I don't know what you call those. Like, it reminds me very much of the like 90s slow jam R&B that I listen to.
Eric, I know
Yeah.
I got a Keith Sweat reference later in my notes.
I was going to say I was going to mention it on this one. That the 808s. That's why I love the Keith Sweat album so much.
Yeah.
That we'll get to at some point. But yeah, it's just like a lot of the things on here, just a great melody, and it sounds just like a classic song that somehow I missed for the last 30 years.
It does,
or something.
yeah. I mean, they have a lot more for like the hyper pop stuff that they do a lot. Like I didn't anticipate as much like 90s R&B sort of reference, like production and audio references.
Mhm.
And apparently lyrical as well. Like that also just feels very like 90s R&B.
Yeah, big time.
Like,
yeah. And I think the cover art also looks pretty like early 90s R&B.
Yeah.
At least to me.
For sure.
So yeah, this is a 5-star, 9.7, a solid 5-star. I do feel like it's a slight step below Sweet Crazy Love, which makes me really want to put Sweet Crazy Love at a 9.8. But yeah, that's all I got on that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Go to track 4, Girlfriend. Kylan, I know we've kind of already got your thoughts on this one a couple months ago.
Yeah, but guess what? This song got way better the more I listened to it.
This
Okay,
song slaps.
Yeah.
I love this song.
I remember on the first time we watched it, Kylan, you said you weren't sure about the like holding the O's like in the chorus.
I still don't love that.
Okay.
That's still kind of my one beef with the song.
Okay. See, I think it's perfect.
Yeah,
I agree. That's in my surprise and delight notes. I love Chef's Kiss.
What else you got on it, Kylan?
I love the pitched down vocals that happen throughout. That's like really fun. It reminds me of like
it's Lil Wayne.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That was exactly my reference. Yeah. But then this song reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog in the best way.
Like, my God, I'm so glad because my notes are like, this sounds like a video game.
Yeah.
But I don't play video games, so I don't know.
And then it goes into this like crazy, like almost like trap kind of thing. But then it's got like live tom hits and stuff. Like, yeah. The pre-chorus is my favorite part. At least I think it's the pre-chorus. Oh, that's the best. I gave this a 4 out of 5.
All right. So you still like Sweet Crazy Love a little bit more then, right? You gave that a 4.5.
Yeah, they were neck and neck, but once again, Kelly's story,
that's right,
and imagining
the story.
Her thinking for a brief second that she knew Korean made it a 4.5.
Okay. Kelly, what do you think about this one?
This one's a 4 out of 4 for me. I do like it slightly more than Sweet Crazy Love, but they're also neck and neck for me.
Yeah.
I love the I love the Lil Wayne homage. I love the syncopation. I love the oohs. My heart's like this. Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. And this one had 2 comments from YouTube that I had to pull. One is when I read it, I was like, maybe I wrote this in a past life and I don't remember. It's just perhaps people had a point when they said to stan Luna. Thoughtful admission. And then this is in relation to the music video, this comment, which features them sort of running
around LA.
Like
they're in LA. Right?
Yeah, and it specifically made me think of Grease, like in the
Yes, me too. In the the canal
drainage,
or whatever. Yeah,
something. Yeah,
for sure.
And the comment is, "Can you believe people had to walk around everywhere before Luna invented running?" And that vomit emoji.
That's funny. That's so good.
I do remember when I first came upon the music video for this. I watched it like 10 times that week, I think. I don't know.
Nice.
The song is so addicting. I thought the video was pretty addicting, but I remember one of the comments said like, "Please stand for our national anthem" or something like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
So good.
Yeah. This song is in my current top 100 of all time. So it's a 9.9 for me. I think just everything about it's perfect and brilliant and one of the best pop songs I've ever heard.
Nice.
For all the reasons you all have mentioned.
I have a question. This is our first time meeting. I don't really have a good concept of your music taste. Can you give me an example of a perfect 10 that I might know?
Let's see. Let me look up my list real
none.
quick.
I've never given a song a perfect 10.
No, I have. I'm not sure your music taste, so what you would know. Do you know the song 23 by Jimmy Eat World?
No.
Let's see.
Kylan's like, she listens to garbage. She's literally the band Garbage and also garbage.
Are you a 90s or a 90s alternative kind of person?
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Pulling
more
up
into
a list
like
here.
I
female
remember.
vocalists,
I
like
don't think
Okay.
it
Fiona
was
Apple
specifically
and
Jimmy Eat World, but I do remember you not making fun of me, but being relatively dismissive of some emo band that I was into in high
oh,
school.
oh yeah, that
But
does
there are
sound
also
like
there's
me.
but
I
Well,
was
I was
okay.
meaner in high school than I am now, I hope.
that's why
Um,
we were friends. I
Yeah,
needed because
so a lot of go ahead.
because you're
Sorry.
addicted
oh
to being bullied.
no, because I'm meaner now.
So our friendship
So
is
we
just
met at like a
maintained.
crossroads. Like we
Yeah.
met.
So a lot of my like songs I would give tens to are either like uh Christian alternative bands or
Uh-huh.
like Swedish synth pop.
Okay.
There is a Cardigan song, but it's a B-side. So, I don't know if
Okay.
you're
Okay. Okay. No, I
uh
think that that tells me enough.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing like super popular. Do you like Sufjan Stevens?
Yeah.
Fourth of July, that one would be a 5 star.
You know what? Looking back, I don't really know why I asked because I'm terrible at song names.
Okay, here's a song that was a popular pop song that would be a 10. I don't it's I'm Still in Love with You by New Edition from the late 90s.
I've actually never listened to music before.
This is Kelly's first album she's ever listened
Yeah, it's good. I see why people like the
You see
music.
why people like
to.
yeah, sorry, that's probably not of much help.
I'll
No,
say
no, thank you.
I'll say as someone. I mean, Eric, we've known each other what a little over a year now.
Yeah, about probably a
No,
year and a half.
year and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
When he brought up the possibility of doing the K-pop episodes, I was a little surprised.
Hmm.
Like this was, but it makes sense now that I've like dug into it more
Yeah.
and I know Eric a lot more. But it was surprising
Okay. Okay.
in the best way. Like I think it's great. And to tie it back to your show, Kelly, one thing that really stood out to me was Julia, right? That was your
Mhm.
guest,
Yeah.
Julia. She said, you know, because she studied anthropology and like
That's right.
specifically about K-pop and stuff, and that was all so fascinating to me.
Right?
She
Yeah.
talked about like psychologically, like through like studies have been done and stuff that like K-pop fans are generally like happier
Yeah.
than like
It
a lot
makes
of people.
sense.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And yeah, I thought I should bring that up. That was really
I love
interesting to
that.
me.
Yeah, a couple months ago, I just felt like I needed to justify it to my wife why I'm listening to the K-pop all
You're
the
like the
time now.
serotonin.
I'm like, it
Yeah,
just makes
exactly.
me feel so happy.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's only the girl groups that I can get into because I think it adds another level of I don't know,
Playfulness, maybe?
playfulness. Yes, that's a
Yeah.
good word
Yeah,
that I don't feel like the boy groups can deliver, at least
right,
Mm.
not that I've experienced yet. So
right.
I'm really only into the girl group stuff so far. But um, yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that.
I don't either, but this is fun. This is the joy of podcasting.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to track number 5, Lunatic. Kylan, what do you think?
Um, okay, musically, production-wise, this is one of those songs that on the surface could feel really simple, but musically this is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's like okay,
That part,
right
yes.
there, yes, okay, there's this moment that it happens quite a few times. We're gonna listen to that right
I
there,
love that.
26 seconds. Yeah, it goes to a weird like augmented seventh chord, which
Okay, I was
is
hoping that you would tell me what the words were
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, the bit, that's neat.
yeah. And so that's typically used in music as a way to like differentiate from the normal.
Okay.
Um because it's one of those chords that is like almost feels wrong, right?
Hmm.
But our ear is drawn to like a resolution to that, and then they go right from that into the resolution. So it's used a ton in like jazz music.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they brought that up so many times in the production of this that you kept like being on the edge of your seat like every time that
Hmm.
happened. It's like there's something psychologically when you hear a chord like that of like at least in Western music where it's like we crave like a resolution to that, to go
Mhm.
back to like the root note of the scale. And they did that so masterfully in this song. It kind of blew my mind that they were able to, within a 3 minute or 3.5 minute pop song, were able to do that so many times and to feel natural. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
feel forced. But it's like a move that like jam bands do all the time. But it's like here's this like hyper pop kind of like song doing it. I thought this was incredible, like musically, and impressive enough to garner a 4 out of 5 from me.
All right. Nice.
So I totally agree. And this was like, my notes are literally, I don't have the music vocabulary to describe this, but the melodies in this are so
Hmm.
surprising and they
Hmm.
just don't resolve in a way that I predict. And
Right.
so it's so super fun. And that part specifically reminded me of my very favorite musical on the face of this earth, Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812,
Mm,
which is very funny. And there's a and sort of it comments on itself. Specifically, there's a part where things are a little weird and woozy wobbly, and the lyrics are like describing a crowd reacting by saying "and diminished sevenths" and
right.
hearing augmented sevenths. I'm like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
those sound,
Yes.
they do the same
They're
thing
very
in my
similar.
brain.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
light up the
Exactly.
same excitement.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also just like how like frenetic and manic this song sounds. Like it gets,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's very exciting.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is where my rubric breaks down because
Oh no.
this is a 4 in my heart. Unfortunately, the YouTube commenters have let me down.
Oh, YouTube.
I know.
Nothing of note at all from the YouTube comments on that one.
Not that I found. No, I don't even like remember what they were talking about in that one. But
Interesting.
I like scrolled.
Um,
I don't know. Maybe the right ones just didn't surface for me. There's got to be a gem in there somewhere.
there's got to be. I'm scrolling the Rate Your Music page real quick to see if I see
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I don't see
You know what?
anything off
Let's
the top of
call
my
it a
head.
4, and I will take it upon myself to go leave a banger of a comment.
Okay. Um, y- yeah, for me, uh, like you, I don't have the really the musical vocabulary that Kylan does as a musician. So like all I put is this song is bonkers.
Yeah,
um,
it's
it,
true
it it
though.
it feels very all over the place and like it shouldn't come together as well as it does.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think it's pretty brilliant. So it's a 9.7 5-star for me. Um,
Nice.
Also, I was looking on the so on Rate Your Music, you can rate like every song that's ever been released. Lunatic is rated as the 2,456th best song of all time.
Whoa. Does it beat
And
out
Wow.
Mozart?
Good cue.
uh, probably not. And Girlfriend is the 1,527th top rated song of all
Well, that
time.
definitely beats out Mozart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's see if
absolutely.
Sweet Crazy Love is number 5,341.
That's wild.
So
Wow. You
yeah,
know what?
all
That
three
is
of
how
those
I rank
songs.
them
Yeah,
in my heart.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's pretty cool that this album has got, it's not like super popular even within the K-pop world. I think it's just among like the critically thinking K-pop fans, I think,
Right.
where this album
Oh.
is like a hit, not so much with the stands, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
um
it's because it's like if you were to look at the musical notation of this song, it's not a pop song, it's a jazz song, which
Mm-hmm.
it like should not work
Yeah.
in any capacity, but it was absolutely intellectually fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's a
And
good
I
one.
wasn't even being intellectual about it. I just was
right.
like, ooh, fun
But
and different.
but no,
Yay.
no, but that's the thing. That's what I love about it. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's, that's why like good jazz can be good, and why there's also so much bad jazz though.
Hmm.
Is that, you know, good jazz can do those, like make those moves, and then have people that don't have the vocabulary to necessarily articulate it, but like can still pick up on those things like on a
Yeah.
vibe level. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. It feels good. It just
Yeah.
Yeah.
feels good.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
does.
So let's move to track number 6, Chaotic.
All right.
Um, Kylan, how do you feel about this song?
So my first question is, did Frank Ocean produce this song?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what it sounds like. Like
Yeah.
it just, especially that intro is just like, what
Oh,
is happening?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a part where it sounds like somebody's pouring hot water, like from I don't know. I don't even know what
Yeah.
instrument that would be. Somebody's back there doing Foley with a tea
Right.
kettle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. And then this one, to continue the jazz thing, this has like really jazzy, like ninth or 13th chords on a Fender Rhodes piano, which is like so nice and so unexpected within pop music. Like that's something that you usually hear in like quote unquote real bands. Um, so
Now,
yeah,
did you hear that or did you look that up? What does that sound like? You could recognize
no,
that with
it's
your
this.
ears?
Oh, of course, it's a so a Fender Rhodes is like a essentially like one of the first like electric keyboards.
Mhm.
Um, hold on, let me look up. Um, let me play you guys like a little bit of what it like when you hear a Fender Rhodes, like it's one of those sounds that like
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
right?
Oh boy. Does it have to be R&B when it's played? Does it like mute
No, no,
itself if you play something else?
it's used in a lot of different types of music, but there's definitely a Rhodes in here. That right there, that
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Ah, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
It's so sexy. The Rhodes is so sexy. Like, give me a Rhodes all day.
Song's
Um,
pretty sexy too. It's
it is.
definitely
It
it's
is.
not so much the driving around town in the sunshine. It's
Correct.
very
This
much
is
a
like after
home
dark.
activity.
This is
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
after dark. This is like sun's gone down.
Yeah.
You're
Yep.
still
Yep.
driving around.
Yeah.
This is a 4 out of 5 for me.
Oh, I
That's-
did not love it that
Oh yeah.
much. Like it's fun. It's good. Like it sounds good. Like I think that I understand why people would like it, but this like I'm not an R&B fan broadly, and that's what this was sounding
Right.
like to me. So
Yeah.
I didn't love it except for, and this is the one point that it gets on my rubric,
Okay.
the part that surprises and delights me. And it is at 3 minutes and 24 seconds, where there is a man in the background who just goes, ooh. And
Hey.
I don't hear him anywhere else in the song. He's
No,
just there
no.
for
He's nowhere else on the record.
And I was like,
Like he's actually
all
just
right.
like a guy that wandered into the studio. He's
Yeah.
like, hey.
They were like, keep it.
Eric, how do you feel
Yeah.
about it?
Well, I think at this point in the track list, they definitely needed a slow jam here,
Mhm.
because Girlfriend and Lunatic both go pretty hard.
Right.
So I think it's a really good song in the context of the album. It's not as strong of a standalone song, I think, as the four that came before it. Which I mean, it would really be hard for hardly anything to follow up
Right.
those songs for me. But it's still a 4.5 for me, 9.2. So yeah, not I mean, still a great song, I think, and it's in a tough spot coming after those, but also
Yeah.
a necessary spot for it to be.
For
I
sure.
think so.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to track 7, Starlight. Kelly, do you want to go first on this one?
Sure. So this one sort of suffers from the same thing as the last song for me personally in terms of vibes. And you said standalone song. Yeah, that's what I meant by would I listen to this song
Right.
on its own instead of listening to God.
Right.
Okay. Get an editor. However, I do really like there's like a rap breakdown in this
Yeah.
that I really like. And there's also a part that's like so most of this song is like pretty mezzo or alto voices, and then there's one run that is like much higher, and it like sort of sparkles in the rest of the song, and I
Mhm.
liked that. I thought that was fun. It's not even like loud or powerful or
Right. It's just
like it's just a
sweetens the mix. Yeah.
little something different.
So it's a 1 for you.
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
YouTube could have brought it up to a 2, but
Yeah. Nothing.
Come on, YouTube.
yeah, come on, you guys.
Kylan, how do you feel about this one?
Okay. So similarly to Kelly, like this, I don't know. I personally love like the thing you guys were talking about where it was in like a tough place. I think within the context of the album, like in the context of the album, I like that they lean really like they kind of split the album and then
Mhm.
lean really heavily into this 90s R&B kind
Mhm.
of vibe. I think this song suffers more from its placement than Chaotic. I think they're entirely too similar.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I like them both, but I think the fact that they're back to back makes this song suffer. So unfortunately, I gave this one a 2.5
Okay.
out of 5. Simply because I personally liked Chaotic more. I think probably just because I heard it first. And it
Yeah.
was like, oh, I don't need to hear it again. But if I heard this one first, this one would probably be higher. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so like I feel like if I had to pick one, I would pick Chaotic over this one. So this one kind of suffered.
Chaotic is the higher rated song on the album of the two. Starlight is the lowest rated song on the
But
album, except for the intro.
yeah, I think if you had split those songs up, I think they would both shine in more interesting ways.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I At first I did like Chaotic more, but I've come to like Starlight more than Chaotic. I'm not exactly sure
Nice.
why, except that I feel like this has even more of a 90s R&B slow jam
Oh,
vibe.
Yeah,
it totally
yeah.
does.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
that's kind of right in my comfort zone. So yeah, this is a 4.5, 9.5. So just below
Okay.
a 5-star for me.
Nice.
So Kylan, a 29-minute album. I'm sure you were pretty happy
That's the
about
best. Sure. Based on length alone, it's a 5 out of 5.
that.
This is the shortest album by what, like an hour that we've
God.
covered?
Yeah, you're I've told you on every episode, you're not going to like the length of most of my favorite albums.
Y'all just over here listening to Porcupine Tree.
Yeah, dude. And between this and Church Jams Now, I'm like, oh my God, I'm listening to like hour and a half long albums, multiple albums every week. I'm like, I don't
You're
have
like,
time for
can I
this.
listen to this at 2x speed? I got places to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but you love movies at least an hour and a half long usually.
Right.
So, what is it that mm, is it because it's not something that you would normally listen to that you're listening to a lot of these that are ones that are
No,
requested that you listen to?
it. I don't know. I think I'm a little more forgiving in terms of movie length versus album length. Simply because I think it adds another sense to it. Like it's not just one sense, right? Like I'm not just listening to something. I'm listening and watching something. I don't know. This is something I'm not prepared to talk about. I
Yeah,
don't
sorry, it
know.
just crossed my
I plead the fifth on this.
it
I
just
need to
crossed
think
my mind.
I need to
Sorry.
think about this more.
I
Um,
I kind of snuck that one in on you. I wasn't
yeah,
planning
no,
on
that's
going there.
great
He's
though.
like, it's
That's
because I
great.
contain multitudes.
That's right. I'm a multifaceted cinnamon roll of a man.
All right, let's go to track number 8, Odd Front.
Can I go first?
Yes, you may.
Yeah.
This is my favorite song on the album.
Same.
Wow.
Agreed.
Okay. Okay.
It was so surprising to me that I was like, oh, "This is Girlfront. It's the same song, but it's a remix. They
Yeah.
just put a remix on the album and just called it something different. What is that? That's amazing." And I don't know if it's because I had the context of Girlfriend first, and I have such little context in terms of like K-pop as a whole and this group as a whole.
Yeah.
But I like this one's like a little more chill.
Yeah.
It's like
It's slightly slowed down too. I don't do the BPM, thing, but I know that it is slightly slower.
And like the chorus goes into like a halftime thing instead of just like a balls to the wall for the whole thing. And this to me was the perfect synthesis of the side A and side B of the record. Of like this kind of leans a little more into that like 90s R&B kind of thing. And this was just fascinating to me. Like this part,
Awesome.
like it's just like it's like a little bit slower, but it still has that energy. It keeps it up. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same like vocal stems from the original, just slowed down and remixed. I thought this was great. This was so good. 4.75.
All right. That's the highest score you've given to anything that wasn't on the All the Day Holiday album, I think.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's
I
think.
This is amazing. This is I mean, you're probably right. I would trust you over me.
We're watching Kylan become a K-pop stan in real time.
Well, no. Okay, so Kelly, this happened when we did. Okay, so we split these episodes, these other K-pop episodes we did. We split them up into individual episodes that we're releasing sequentially, but we did all 5 music videos
in one go
at one time. And I specifically remember telling Eric, like, I'm a little bit mad because he's like, I don't have enough room in my personality to add K-pop fan to it. I think I specifically said I'm already like the weird like musician, podcaster, obsolete media, VHS like movie guy. Like I literally don't have room to add K-pop fan, but I kind of want to, and so I'm mad about it.
You're gonna have to.
I know. I think so.
It doesn't help that at your local bookstore they replaced some movies with K-pop albums.
So yeah,
that's a sign, my dude.
The Barnes and Noble out in Rogers. So I've been living here.
My childhood Barnes and Noble.
Yes, mine too. Mine too. So I mean, they already got rid of the whole like multimedia section that's like split into. But then they had one like back shelf, it was probably like 12 feet long, and it was just the back shelf, but it was all the Criterion collection movies. And Barnes and Noble twice a year does the Criterion half off sale. That's like my safe space. And
Yeah.
and I texted Eric like last month
Yeah.
or the month before. We went into Barnes and Noble and I beeline straight for the Criterion section. It was all replaced with K-pop, and it's now just the K-pop section. And
Well, I'm sorry, you got to stop being a movie guy. You're
I
a
guess
K-pop
so.
guy
I'm
now.
a K-pop guy now.
It's
Because
just crazy.
I'm so used to just going to that section. It's like, well, I
Yeah.
guess I got to buy these now. Like,
It's crazy because they are trying to get rid of every CD everywhere,
Right.
unless it's K-pop.
Unless
Then
it's K-pop.
they're
But
making a
that-
whole section for it.
Right. That's the fascinating thing, though, about K-pop, too, is like they're still about physical media.
Yeah, and they do it right too. Their CD
Yeah.
packages they go all out. You usually get like a poster and a card. I got one. I actually got a few K-pop CDs on sale pretty cheap today. One of them had like a bookmark or stamp or something in it.
Fun.
Wow.
Yeah, they go all out for it.
Little goodies.
So mad,
Yeah.
though. I was going to get Citizen Kane 4K UHD with the bonus
Whatever.
disc, and now I got to get Espa Savage and
There you
with
go.
the bookmark or whatever.
Yeah. All right, Kelly, what did you think of Odd Front?
I agree. This song slaps, and I like that it's a little slower. Because interestingly, some of the poppier aspects of the song like get a chance to stand out a little more. Like there's this
For
sort
sure.
of call and response at one point
Mhm.
between like whatever the lead singer says, and then they all chime in and go, "Hey you!" Like
Yeah.
that's super fun, and I didn't notice it when it was all pop all the time. So this was super fun, and it also does one of my favorite things that I didn't notice in Girlfriend, but maybe it's in there, where there's the instruments drop out and there's
Mhm.
just a vocal run, and then the instruments slam back
Then
in
they come
high
back in.
tempo.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Oh,
love
so
it.
good. It's so good.
Oh, and then my favorite YouTube comment for this one is my last 10 brain cells coming together to spell necessary. Agreed.
That's so good.
That's awesome.
So good.
That I wonder if they're also, talking about where this was added, onto what was
Right.
originally the EP.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wonder if
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's necessary
Necessary.
to have it on.
You're
Okay.
right.
Yeah. So is
All
that
right.
a four for you
Yeah, it
then,
is a
Kelly?
4.
All
Yeah.
right. Awesome. Yeah, for me, I don't love it as much as the original, and I don't know if it's because it doesn't have the fun music video that
I get that. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally fair.
It's possible that if this is the one that had the music video, that it would be my favorite. But I don't know. I give it a 4.5, 9.4. I do love it. But it's hard to not just compare it to the other version, which
Mhm.
I consider one of my favorite songs of all time.
Right.
But I really like at the beginning that has the spoken word part that
Mhm.
is not, or at least isn't, you can't hear it in the first one if it is there, I don't think.
Right.
Yes, and it's like late 90s, early 2000s phone call,
Yeah.
Yes,
like
exactly.
compressed
Yeah.
vocal. Yeah, it
Right.
was so fun.
It's almost like the Aqua Barbie girl
Yes,
intro.
yeah.
Like,
uh-huh.
yeah.
So yeah,
So good.
that'll do it for the track list. Kelly, what are your kind of final thoughts on the album and a final rating that you would give it?
Oh no, I didn't develop an album rubric.
Well,
Well,
okay,
you don't have to score it if you don't want to.
Well,
but
hold
just your
on,
final thoughts.
hold on. Let's wait. We can do this mathematically, right? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
the total number of points available.
divided by
Yeah.
what's I don't know.
Hold
I'm
on.
really bad at math. I
Hold
don't
on.
know why
I
I
can
brought
do
this up
this.
as a possibility.
Hold on. I have scientist in my job title. I can do this very confidently. How many tracks is this?
8.
8.
Also, side note, this is how many songs should be on an album.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What if
that
each
was
song is an hour?
Well, no.
And-
So every album needs to be
Yeah.
8 to 10 songs and 35 minutes. However you
Okay.
want to work that out,
Sure.
that's an album.
Yeah. I like that. First track, 3 seconds. Second track, 5 seconds.
That's
Third
great.
track,
The last song.
34 minutes.
Yeah. I would
It's like
accept
a
that.
it's like a Godspeed You Black Emperor
Yeah.
album.
Exactly. Okay,
So if
Miss
we're
Scientist, what do we got?
Yeah, so it earned 21 points out of a possible 32, which seems
That seems like a
lower than I want
right.
it to be because
Well,
that is
YouTube let you down a
YouTube
lot
let
on
me
the back
down.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
that's not
if you
fair.
do take it upon yourself to up those
To
YouTube
go
scores,
to go add the comments. Yeah, it'll get a little higher. I think we can get this up to at least a 24 out of 32.
for sure.
Awesome. Kylan,
Which comes out to like
or
65%, which is
Right.
why I said it felt low.
So yeah.
we know you enjoyed it more than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kylan, what are your
Uh,
final thoughts on it?
Eric, this may be my favorite album we've covered so far.
Oh, nice.
Well, no, I don't know. The All the Day Holiday record was like
Yeah.
really good.
You
Like,
gave that a
was
4.5.
That was really good. I gave it okay. I would give this a 4.25.
Okay,
Can I do that?
sure.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice.
I love it. Everything's made up.
Yeah.
So your ranking right now of the albums we've covered is number 1, All Day Holiday, number 2, Odd Eye Circle, number 3, Luna Halo, number 4, Evans Blue.
Yes.
Cool.
For sure.
I'm
Awesome.
excited to listen to these other albums.
Well, you say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my final rating is a 4.5.
Sweet.
Partially for the reason that Kylan loves it. I wish it were longer. It's hard for me to compare a 29-minute album with like my favorite Falling Up albums, which are like an hour and 10 minutes or something, like hour and 5 minutes, whatever. So I do, on the overall score, I do dock it a little bit for being so short. But it's still, it's still in my top 30 of all time, which
Good.
yeah, I think it's this, and this might be my favorite like pure pop kind of album, really.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, 4.5 for me.
That's pretty good. So where does it fall in relation to the 3 others that we've covered on this?
It would definitely be behind Luna Halo and slightly behind All the Day Holiday, and probably a couple spots in front of Evans Blue.
Evans Blue. Okay.
I think Evans Blue is probably
That
going
makes
to end up
sense.
last of the ones that we've covered. It was already there when I started it, but
Right.
it's really helping me, like hearing other people's fleshed out thoughts on these albums is really
Right.
helping me understand them
Like
outside my
contextualize
own head.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, contextualize.
sure.
So yeah, so I really appreciate you coming on and Kelly coming on today and helping me think through this.
Here.
Let me I want to plug my Patreon real quick. Recently launched a Patreon. There's a $3 tier where you can get all my mini reviews, and we'll have an episode that won't probably be released on the Neverglow show that we recorded that we'll release unedited. Yeah, there's a private Twitter account that you'll get access to. So yeah, tried to make it some fun stuff. Hopefully,
Hey Eric.
Yeah.
What is the link to the Patreon?
It is patreon.com/ineverglow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Producer
Thanks,
Kylan producing on
Thanks,
the
Kylan.
fly.
That's right.
So I want to shout out Tim Rogers, who is a patron on the WoW tier, which is the highest tier. And then also I want to shout out Josh Olson and Mark K, who joined as patrons over the last week. So much appreciate the support and just kind of having people to bounce ideas off of who are kind of invested in what I do. I think I'm really enjoying that aspect of it.
Yeah, dude.
Kelly, will you tell people about your podcast and maybe where they can find you anywhere else online you'd like to be found?
Sure. So, two podcasts I wanted to plug. One is called Never Show the Monster, which is a podcast about horror movies. We cover the good ones, the bad ones, the dumb
Ugly ones.
Oh, yeah. Producer Kylan, we need him for me too. We
Just
have a lot of fun
producing
with that
everybody.
one. Yeah, it's good. Once you turn it on, you can't turn it off.
I can't.
And the other one is Debut Buddies, a podcast about firsts. First K-pop album, first found footage movie is one that will be coming out soon. First Nathan's hot dog eating competition. Kylan
Such
was
a good episode.
most recently, he was on the first US patent, which was much more fascinating than you would think.
It was. That was such
It's a
fun
podcast
episode.
about fun facts, is
Yeah.
what it really is. And you can find No Show Monster, Never Show the Monster on the socials at No Show Monster. You can find Debut Buddies on the socials at Debut Buddies, and you can find me most places at Kelly Attaway. Except on Instagram, I'm Spooky Kelly with like more Y's than there should be. I need to fix it.
I mean, you've had Instagram for a long time. It's
Yeah.
acceptable.
Awesome. Kylan, what would you like to plug today?
I want to plug the K-pop episode of Debut Buddies.
Hey.
Because it was so good. And if anyone enjoyed this conversation like that, I don't know how I missed that one, but I really love it. And it's a really good sort of crash course. I'm on an episode of Never Show the Monster, talking about the book Monster by Frank Peretti,
which I think about all the time. By the
me
way.
too. Me too. I think about it more than I should. Yeah, so you should definitely go listen to those two shows. I'm also on a show called Church Hymns Now, and also a show called In Defense of Kesha. So if you like pop music, you should listen to In Defense of Kesha, where we try to find a single Kesha song for our guest to say that they like. I don't know, Eric, if your episode will be out by the time this comes out, but we'll see. It might be. It might be pretty close. So
Okay.
yeah,
I'm
we
excited.
had Eric on the show, and it was very fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
Fun
that's
listen.
about it.
And the Debut Buddies episode, first K-pop, is from March 11th. In case you're scrolling to try and find that particular episode.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming on, both of
Yeah,
you.
this was super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.